Grand rising, beautiful people. Come on in. Sorry that did not come on last night. I had to get my thoughts together about how to approach the little monkey wrench that I had to deal with the other night. And I feel like it is worthy of being talked about. Hey, Omar. Peace King. How you doing? Come on in. These are my rising. Well, I'll have to say my proofread rising thoughts. Come on in. Come on in. There's a few y'all in here already, so I'll get it together. So the other night, my electricity went off. I made a post about it. Yeah, I live by myself and I absolutely pay my bills. So I didn't understand, what that was about. I did the smart thing to do. And of course I called, my management building was around 6 o'clock. So even if it was after hours, it wasn't like they've been gone for hours. They were still actually on the property. So I called their number. They have the way it's supposed to be set up is, you call the number, they have a third party individual or company that answers the calls, takes messages, and if needed, they can contact the maintenance person that is on call here at my complex. That is how the process is supposed to go. So I called, like I said, it was around 6 o'clock, called 3 times. When I called the number, it sounded like a fax machine instead of an actual phone. Okay, cool. Call Georgia Power, figure out that it is something specifically to only my building, because at first I thought it could have been just my building. So I looked out my window, there were still street lights on and stuff, and it's not like it's been raining or any type of storm going on to cut out our lights. So I went to go ask a neighbor of mine with their lights on, but then when I looked at my peephole, the light in the breezeway was on. So it was obviously not a building issue. It was something that was specifically to my apartment. Called Georgia Power. They, tried to lead me to my thingy box to, flip some switches or whatever. Didn't work. So he said it had to have been something outside of the building. I'm not an electrician or electricianist or whatever. I was not about to go and mess around with no wires. To make this long story short, I wake up I pretty much had to sleep in the cold. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm from New York, so I'm about that life. I can absolutely survive in the cold. It really wasn't a really huge deal. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't unsafe, so I don't want to make it seem like I was in danger. I wasn't. I definitely made it work, and I was warm all night. I figured it out. Like I said, I'm from New York. But when I went to inquire about the situation is what pissed me off. So I go and tell them about it. They send the maintenance people to go look behind the building to find the whatever switch it was or whatever board they needed. The board is literally on the wall. Anybody can get to it. It's just a bunch of switches on a wall. And for some reason, someone decided to just turn off my electricity. Just me. Not the whole building. It's not like a bunch of kids would have been switching off stuff. They specifically just turned off my electricity. Don't get me wrong. I know I'm special and shit. I know. But I don't got any beef. I don't really bother anybody. And I really don't, parlay with folks around here either. For me to have an issue, For me to feel as if anyone is stalking me or anything of that nature. But at the same time, I'm from New York. So I don't leave nothing to chance when it comes down to that. So I'm the type of person, if there's something that I can do to make my situation better where I don't have to, but even if it's your job, if I can do it to make my life easier, then I'll do it. So I asked the guy to show me what the problem was. He pretty much said somebody flipped the switch. Wasn't no tripping or anything like that. So pretty much, had they answered their phone, had their emergency line been working the way it was supposed to, they would have gotten that call And they were already on the property, and all they had to do was flip a switch, and I wouldn't have had to slept in the cold that night. So my biggest issue is with this complex that I live in. They're called Gray Park. They used to be called Highland Hills. What they've been doing is these companies have just been buying up this property every year without wanting to fix the issues that are here. This place has been here since the 70s from what I've been told, and not a door, a window, plumbing, any of those things, air conditioners, heatings, none of that stuff has been replaced since the 70s. This is absolutely 2020. And again, I'm a very sensible person. Anybody that's been in my house knows that I keep my house clean. I do not have home attendants. I do that shit myself. And I don't bother nobody. I do not walk around this complex asking nobody to do a damn thing for me. I walk and take the bus to the store. I carry my own shit. I'm very self-sufficient. I do not bother nobody. And I completely understand also that this new management people are coming into problems. I totally get that. But my thing is, you own this property. And we are under contract, because at the end of the day, they give no fucks about what's going on in my life. If I can't pay my rent, they're kicking me out. Period. They don't care what's going on in my life. So I don't have time, for y'all's fuckery. They up here making sure the grounds look good, pulling up trees, putting in flowers, dumb shit that is not necessary, that we don't need right now. So they can get new people in here, so they can bamboozle folks to move into this place, while they leave the actual tenants who live here to deal with the mess. And we're just supposed to overstand. And if you don't like it, you can find somewhere else to move. That is the consensus of what's going on here. So yes, that extremely pissed me off, because I am not in a position to move. I don't want to move. This place right here, for what I'm doing right now, what I have going on, is perfect for me. I can handle my business on my own without any help, if need be. This is essential, and this is the only place that I am comfortable with. I've been out in Macon for 16 years, but this is the only place that I have lived. So it's comfortable for me, and I'm not ready to move. And what I'm not going to do is just allow anybody to treat me any kind of way and tell me to get out. They got the wrong one. Now, the reason why I named this Tenants Association, so I had to think, of course, after I got over my emotions, I had to think. So I'm a big thing. If I got a problem, I want to find a solution to the problem. I don't want to complain about the problem. So, Tamara, Plump Queen, why do you have an issue? Why is this agitating you? Because it seems like nobody else seems to care about this stuff. No one else is complaining about these things. This is why, obviously, this has been going on for all of this time. Obviously, the people around here, no offense, y'all don't care about how y'all are treated. Y'all just pick up and move and go somewhere else to be mistreated as well. See, I'm from the north. I'm from them free states, and we don't play that shit. I have never, in the whole time I've been alive, had to deal with this. I grew up in the projects the first 9 years of my life, and then I moved to Left Rack. And Left Rack, that is a huge apartment complex. I'm talking about 5 major buildings, five whole buildings that have four buildings attached to them, with 18 floors, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 apartments on each floor. That's where I lived from the age of 9 until I moved down south. Huge community. 18-story building. Each one of those buildings had enough staff. Each building had its own maintenance staff. Every other year, or every couple of years, without inquiring and without asking, they would send us notices to let us know that they have to re-weather the windows and the doors, because we live up north. We have hard winters. So after years of the frozen and the cold and all that, that wears and tears on the windows. That messes with the insulation. So this is why they have it set up, to make sure that they maintain their property the way it's supposed to. That's what renting is about. If I wanted to take care of all that stuff, I would buy a house. You know what's funny, Tiffany? I did not know that you lived in Left Rack. That is dope. Me and you have to have some conversations. But yeah, so living in Left Rack, I didn't have to deal with none of this stuff at all. They own this property. They take care of their property. That's how that's supposed to go. So this is why this is new to me. This is why I'm overly upset, because I'm not used to these type of conditions. And again, these folks around here, I look crazy now. See, now the management people out there, they don't like me no more. See, I was the nice one-armed lady who used to come up for her packages and smiling all the time. And you see that I lost my arm, but I'm still living life. So you like me just like everybody else do. But now that I'm checking you, now I'm a problem. And that's okay. I will continue to be a problem because I stand up for myself. I'm not going to let you piss on me and tell me that it's raining. That I'm not going to do. Because like I said, I take care of my part of the bargain. I pay my rent on time. I keep my house clean. I abide by all rules. So y'all need to do the same. But the way this setup is, and I'm going to go out on a limb to say even hold in Macon, Georgia, they have it set up where it's legal for these apartment complexes to pretty much not be liable for anything. And I think that was the biggest thing that pissed me off. Because no matter what is said, no matter how, when you speak to these management people, they make sure there is no fault. When I was talking to the lady in the office about the switch, instead of her, focusing on the fact that your number wasn't working, she wants to blame the tenants. Oh, it must be someone's children messing around, and people do bad things, but that's not my staff. That's not us. It is cold out here, guys. It was 27 degrees that night. These Southerners, they don't do the cold well. As soon as they see even an inkling of snow, they heading for the hills. They shutting down schools, shutting down roads and shit. So you can't tell me that's a bunch of kids were outside at night after the sun went down and it's 27 degrees and they're running around in the back in the pitch dark, fucking around with people's switches. That's bullshit. I've lived here for 5 years. Ain't nobody ever messed with them switches. I didn't even know those switches were back there. And the problem is not about the person flipping my switch, because like I said, it was just a switch. All someone had to do was go down there and flip it back, and I'd have had my electricity. That was the problem, not the flip being switched. Y'all's ass is not having y'all shit on point. But you make sure y'all paperwork is right with y'all money. You make sure you know when we owe you. You know all of that. You got all that information. You make sure you got that. But you don't know what's going on when there's a problem, and they're never liable for it. And they legally have the right to do that. So it sounds like Plump Queen has an issue that she needs to follow. We need a tenants association here in Macon, Georgia. And I need the people of Macon, y'all need to start caring about yourselves and y'all's living situation, because these people are doing this to y'all because y'all let them. We had a tenant association in Left Rack. The tenants came together, made a group to make sure that our rights were being taken care of and not put aside. That's what needs to be done, because the stuff that they're doing is legal. And I think that's what also makes me so mad, because I know there's nothing legally that I can do about it. It's almost like I just got to take it. I don't like that shit. So, my people in Macon, Georgia who are watching this, if you live in an apartment complex, I want to speak with you. We need to figure out some kind of way to get a legit organization where our rights are protected. It's just like at a job. They have the union. They built a union to make sure that that these companies don't shit on them. Well, the tenants need the same thing. So I'm going to make it my business to try to start this. Because like I said, I'm not moving from this place until I'm ready to move from this place, and they are not going to mistreat me because they feel like they can. Not happening. I will make extra sacrifices to make sure that happens. I don't deal with disrespect and mistreatment from nobody. Nobody. So something has to be done. So this is what was going on the other night. That's why I didn't go live last night, because I need to figure out some shit. When I'm in my emotions, like I always tell y'all, when your emotions are not balanced, you can't come up with solutions. So my solution is a tenant association needs to be created for Macon, Georgia. I don't know how that's done, but I'm gonna figure it out, and we're gonna get that done, because it needs to be done. There are people out here who can't fight for themselves, who probably want to, but they can't. I know so many older people out here, their kids are all up in Atlanta doing their thing, living their best life, and they leave their parents here in this, you know what I'm saying? And this, I don't want to call this a rural place, but you have them here in Macon living by themselves, and no one to look out for them. Living in terrible conditions, but they don't have the strength or anyone to back them up. Matter of fact, even funnier. So, of course, I told my parents about this, letting them know what's going on. So, of course, my parents wanted to call them to complain. Now, y'all know that I ain't got no issue with standing up for myself. I do not need my mama and my daddy to go and fight for me. But at the end of the day, I'm still their kid. I don't care how old I get. I'm still their child. And they're not going to be cool with anyone, you know what I'm saying, mistreating me. So, of course, they called up there talking they shit. We gonna call the governor. We gonna call the news. Y'all need to get this shit together type situation. So they called me to tell me that they're trying to fix something, and to let me know that they can't speak with anyone else about my apartment because they're not on the lease or whatever the fuck. Long as you know that I'm going to protect myself, I'm going to stand up for myself, and I have other people that are willing to do the same. That's what these folks need to know. And this is why I tell you guys, we have to stick together. That is what unity is going to do. These people would not do this if they knew that there was going to be a group of motherfuckers ready for them. That's why we need to unite. Like, y'all truly just don't understand how important that is. They would not be doing this stuff if we stuck together and it was a bunch of people that was willing to hold them accountable. See, I'm just one person. Like I said, they're looking at me now like I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm the crazy girl woman who's going out of her way, you know what I'm saying, to be disruptive. That's who I am now, because I am making them be held accountable for their part of our contract. Because we both signed this contract, and I'm supposed to handle my part, and you're supposed to handle yours. I'm doing my part, you're not, but there's no consequences for you not doing your part, and they have it set up that way. There's no liability for them. You either deal with it or you have to go somewhere else. That's how it is, and that's not fair, especially since I've been living here longer than y'all niggas been working here. Shit's not cool. So something has to be done. So anybody in here, actually I see a few folks on here that are from Macon, Georgia. If you are serious about that, you could be going through this, your mama, you know what I'm saying, your aunties, any of us can be going through this. We need to do something. We need to do something, because they are not going to do it. These folks have been living this way. They're making their money. They give no shits about you. We're just rent to them. They don't care that this is my house. They don't care that this is my, you know what I'm saying, supposed to be my protective space where I live, where I dwell. They don't care about that. This is just a unit that makes them between $600 and $700 a month. That's all they see. They don't see me. I'm a number. I'm P10, not Tamara Houston. So something has to be done. Stop allowing these people to treat you like you're just an apartment number, while you giving them your hard-earned money to stay in this place. That's a fair exchange. Do not let these people make you think that they're doing you a favor, because they're not. You pay to stay where you are. That is a fair fucking exchange. And you do your damn part. Period. So we have to do better. So that's what's going on, guys. Those are my proofread thoughts. And I hope that there are some people that live out here that are willing, you know what I'm saying, to come with me on that and figure out how we can build this association. And this can go for any, honestly, melanated community. I'm only speaking about, Macon is because this is where I live now. But I am sure this is going on across the country. We need to start having organizations and groups to make sure, that our agendas, and our needs, and rights are protected. We have that right. I don't care who you are. I don't care that I'm on disability. I don't care what they think about me, because there's a lot of mentalities that go on around here, that people don't like to talk about. Racism lives on out here real bad. Whether people want to acknowledge that or not. And a lot of them look at us like we're trash, like we are like we're 3/5 of a man, so you don't have the right to ask for these things. That's exactly how these people think. You should be happy with what you get or what we're giving you. That's how they think. Lucky I ain't got another finger for that shit. So, we have to do better. Something has to be done. And if I got to start it, then that's what I'll do. All right? So, I love y'all. That's all I got. I'm all right. Like I said, I'm chilling. My lights are on. They say it wasn't a huge issue, but the universe always throws monkey wrench, because this was more of a monkey wrench than a storm. But the universe always throws monkey wrenches at me to teach me something. I don't care what it is. No matter how pissed off I get about it, it's something to teach me. Something for me to learn. And every time you're uncomfortable, anytime the universe makes you uncomfortable, it's time for change. So I am thinking about, somewhere else. Not right this minute, but there may be somewhere else that I do need to go, and I need to have that in my mind, because I didn't have that in my mind. I was not thinking about going nowhere. You know what I mean? But maybe I need to, have that on the side of my brain. I have a lot of things going on for 2020. This is definitely about to be AMPspirationTTV's year to date. You know what I mean? So, when this year is up, I may have some other options. It may be more plausible for me to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? So that's in my mind now because of, because how this went down. So either way, I'm going to learn my lesson. I'm always going to be all right. Always going to be all right. I have people who love me. I love myself. You know what I'm saying? I know the type of energy that I put out. So I'm always going to have what I need regardless. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's about it. I hope y'all are enjoying y'all's Thursday. And I'll see y'all tomorrow with my original subject. We're going to talk about music. A little light. Everybody always talks about, I'm not too fond of a lot of this mumble rapping and stuff, and a lot of people say that the reason why music goes the way it goes, or the type of things that we talk about, is because it's what sells, and that's what people want, so that's why we do it. Well, I know a few people that have debunked that perspective, so we're going to talk about it, and we're going to listen to some. So come on, Friday is going to be almost like a jam session, so come on through. Friday night, 9 p.m., so I get that's your pre-game before the club, okay? So come on through. I love y'all. Y'all be inspired. Peace.